Hello and welcome to another Driven Catalyst live stream. Today we are tackling from idea to execution in design work. What that means is I'm basically just going to chat and be live while I bring an idea I have pretty vividly in my head to some sort of semblance of real life. We are working with a client on an exciting project right now, and I'm not the lead. Like, I'm not working on the illustrations necessarily, but I've talked a little bit about it before. I did some sketches last week to try and bring one idea I had to life as we collaborate and iterate through different ideas. And as we have continued, I am going to try and play around with another idea. So I thought it would be fun to talk about taking something from idea to execution today on live. And so basically what I'm planning on doing is taking a stab at putting together a collage of visuals that then is used as like a reference for a sketch. So that's what I'm going to start sort of cobbling together. There's many different ways that I would approach things like this, and then of course anyone would. But with this particular idea, the way it's so vivid in my mind, I feel like a collage is going to be the smartest way. So I'm kind of just laying out what I have, and I'm going to lasso tool it all together in Photoshop. I still need to find assets that like fit what I'm looking for some of it, but I think just sort of laying it all out in Photoshop is going to be the best approach. Let's see. Here we go. I'm like looking for my folder that has what I need in it. Okay. Dragging and dropping stuff in. This also helps for proportioning things out, I think. Let me see. Trying to figure out what the standard size is for graphics on like a sweatshirt or a hoodie. I really expected, if anyone has ever had experience ordering custom anything, like from Redbubble, uploading something onto Redbubble or ordering something from somewhere, pretty standardly they have that little rectangle laid out for you on whatever garment you're ordering for, and they have standard dimensions. Hoodie print size. Print graphic. Here we go. This is for a t-shirt, but so the front of this t-shirt is saying 11.7 by 16.5. So let's try that. Let's just round it to 11, or I guess it would be like 12, 16.5. There we go. Yeah, that looks like that looks right. And then I'm going to paste this asset into it. Yeah, because as we've been doing initial sketches, the actual size of the main subject has kind of been elusive. It's we've played with it quite a bit, and I feel like I would like to have an easier way of communicating what I have in mind, even though obviously like my opinion is arguably the least important, but as I'm sort of relaying and I'm the point of contact between our designer and our client, I am wanting to make sure I have a clear example of what I guess my expectations are. Not my expectations, but that feels so parental to say like my expectation. I don't know. I just want to be able to communicate efficiently what I'm imagining as I'm relaying things between the two. Because if at any point I have sort of an inaccurate understanding, I could screw things up on both sides. And so I want to just make sure that I really have a good understanding of what I have in mind, what the client has in mind, and then what our illustrator is working on. Okay, so I have that first asset down, and then I'm going to kind of play with this brush, and I feel like I like the idea of this color being the color we use, although this I think is going to be more recognizable. Yeah. And then what do we get if we do that? Okay, so I want something a little bit less, or I guess a little bit harder edged as far as brushes go right now. I know you can't see it, but just so you know kind of what I'm working on. Then I'm going to sort of mix two colors. Yeah, I like that. Mixing three colors actually, and then let's smudge them. There's two common colors associated with kind of the core concept of an idea that we're exploring. And they're really fun colors. They fit the vibe. They fit the vibe for what the actual final product will be. And so I like the idea of incorporating them both, and I think it will work well. And then, is there a way to, actually don't know if there's a way to, I guess, yeah, I'll pointilize it. Ooh, that's cool. I don't think I'm ready for that yet, though. Okay, let's just let it. Oh, yeah, let's multiply. And then I wish I could stack blend styles, because I want to have it set to multiply. I want it to be multiply and dissolve, ultimately. But I think if I take fill to half, no, opacity. No, I want it to be both multiply and dissolve. I'll just let it chill out at multiply. And then you know what? I bet if I put this, duplicate this layer, and then lighten, and then move it up top, and then do that, a little bit of that. Yeah, cool. Okay. I'm liking how things are looking. Now I'm going to go to Adobe Stock, even though this is just purely concept work. I'm going to see what I can get done with the free choices on Adobe Stock. That way, if I do move to Sketches and want to sketch this out, the reference being used... what if I do Unsplash and see what free assets are able to be used. Okay, so I feel like there we go. I'm thinking I definitely want another thing. I feel like what I'm imagining in my mind right now is way more whimsical and kind of a marrying of concepts than it is like a real life thing. Yeah, okay, cool. Perfect. Download free. And then like I feel like you know how movie posters are sort of collagey these days too, when we're thinking like the standard sci-fi superhero poster where we deal with like the red and blue gradient and the floating heads. I feel like we're, in my mind, the idea kind of tiptoes towards that style, which I feel like could be a very polarizing approach. And so I kind of want to have a way of saying something to point out and say, this is what I've been picturing. How do we all feel? You know? So that's part of this. This is such a fantastic picture. Oh, it has to be licensed. Understandably so. That's an awesome picture. I don't know if it was going to fit with the idea, though. But then let's do... How's this? I like this. Okay, let's see what I can do. I've noticed with the most recent update, I can't just drag things from my download list up at the top of my Google search. I have to like go in and actually manually do things. No. Cancel. I only want to move this. Okay. Nice. And then let me drag this over. Remove the background. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so we're going to be kind of playing. My idea plays with hyperbole quite a bit in terms of things being exaggerated sizes, which I think is necessary. So, like, for this concept idea to work at all, I think at the scale that this will be produced, I do think we need to play with scale a bit. Exaggerate things. But I don't know. Maybe that's just not something that people are interested in. Let's see. This one of I ran into an image that it's not easy enough to just say remove background. I need to come in and sort of select what I actually want. Cancel. Let me make sure I have the right layer selected. And then we'll put that in the foreground. Or wait, maybe I want to flip it and have it on this side. I think balance-wise, it works better flipped. And so then let's flip this little guy. Yeah, okay. Play with the size of that a little bit more even though. Yeah, I mean, if you could see what I'm doing, you'd know immediately what I mean about the scale being ridiculous. I think this could work still. I like it. And then, like, what's oh man. Okay. It'd be cool if I could Okay, so then I think these... We almost want... Yeah, what if we played with that? Okay, cool. I'm kind of playing with color to distinguish... Wait, no. Let's merge these two layers together. So then I can make a clipping mask. I don't know that that's gonna work. Let's see. Let's bring the colors on that up. Gonna do another color balance layer. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. But I'm going to clipping mask that so it doesn't double. Yeah, cool. So I'm kind of... This is sort of a lighting heavy thing. The way I'm playing with things right now. I'm changing up the lighting quite a bit. And I like the idea of that being something that hangs down. Part of this idea of like collaging it first also means that as artfully as I collage it, I may be able to drag it in and vectorize it and end up with something pretty decent. Okay, I'm gonna add that in last as a layer. Cool, I like that. And then I don't know how to blend those worlds. Other than let's maybe do the classic. Okay, so we're gonna delete that. And then this is actually going to be I'm gonna pump the exposure up on this layer. Crank that up. Great clipping mask. There we go. Lighten. No. That's what we want to lighten. Kind of playing with blend options. Not now. I wonder, I feel like if I put this on, exclude, I thought would do it, but I think it's, I don't think any of them are doing what I want it to do. Let me flip this. I think flipping it may help. It didn't. Maybe if I do like sort of draw. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. I sort of highlighted it just by doodling around it. And then oh, I like this one. Scary. Okay, cool. And this, we want it to be bright also. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Let me actually do that, and then I'm gonna pen tool this and just draw. Yeah, there we go. I need to make these bigger. And then this. And then we can put this down here. Okay, I lied. We do want to flip that. And then flip this. Move this more to the middle. There we go. That's cool. Okay, this is looking cool. And then one of my photos is like cropped. So I think I need to like add feet. Like draw little feet and arms back on. There. Gets the point across. And then it doesn't look like it's nighttime in this picture that I have cooking. And so I'm going to sort of vignette it in an indigo color on multiply. Let's see what that does. Or maybe what does dissolve do? No. Oh, I actually don't like that. Okay, so let's just... Now I'm going to export this. Quick export it. And call it sketch test. And then I'm going to pull it into Illustrator and see what vectorizing it does. It's pretty cool. Image trace. High fidelity. Okay, so high fidelity, let's do 16 colors. Hey, not bad. And then let's come here and rasterize it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of blur, and I'm gonna add pixelate color halftone. I'm gonna bring it down to, I think 4 pixels is the lowest it'll let me. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. And then I'm gonna put this on lighten, and then actually drag the same thing back in. We're gonna image trace it. Shades of gray is interesting. I'm gonna go with 16 colors again. Or maybe I should be doing high fidelity at this stage. Let's see. Yeah, okay, high fidelity, and then we'll expand it, and I'm gonna send it to back. I guess this is what we should actually bring the opacity down on. Interesting. So it didn't quite do what I hoped. But I think this was still pretty helpful in terms of me figuring out the scale of things and being able to lay things out kind of how I've been imagining them. I feel like it's pretty close. And then I can play with type and such. Let me draw on. Ooh. Let's see. My brush is set way too big. I'm back in Photoshop because I realize I chose colors that don't make a whole lot of sense unless I go in and fill in some more details. I don't know. I think this is pretty neat. I'm going to save as sketch try. Okay. And we'll call that good. All right. So I know you didn't see much, but that was me kind of narrating, me taking something from idea to execution and sort of laying out the first stages. I think what I may do is I may then take the picture I just made, the collage, and sketch over it tomorrow. I need to charge my iPad before I can play iPad baby again. But that's where I'm at. I hope you enjoy the live stream. Sort of a laid back Monday stream. Have a good rest of your day. I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.